I do it again. Started off with okay. This isn't really a review since I haven't really used a lot of, I haven't used any chainsaw milling equipment, to be honest. So, basically this is just my experience using this thing. I was trying to use the 028 here for the first time since I rebuilt it, but it's giving me trouble. So I had to switch over to the 661 to get things finished, but stay tuned, see how it goes. It's very easy, but like I said, it's not a review, so I'm not going to tell you, the pros and, well, I could tell you the pros and cons, but I won't be. I'm going to tell you this one versus another one because I don't have any other ones to experiment with. I'm still waiting on my Granberg to show up, then maybe I can talk. That's what my ladder for behind it. That's the ladder for, I'm just waiting on it, so, and the 661, so, check it out. This one attaches really easy. You can use these 3 jam screws, or you can drill a hole through your bar. And that's where I had it attached before. You can drill a hole through the bar and bolt it on here. It includes the bolts. This is just a $20 rig off of Amazon. And I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong here. Careful if your blade is sharp. Just check that down. This is cast iron, but it still flexes quite a bit. So when you tighten it down, when you put pressure on one, it completely lifts the other 2 off the bar, basically. So it seems like I guess you are tightening them down, but you definitely have to go back over each one of the 3 every time to make sure that you've got a good tight grip. You don't want it to slip and then have your chain hit the cast iron. But like right there, I can see how it just moved. It's actually walking. Like as I twist these down, they're actually walking across the bar. So when I see if you can see this, when I bolted this down, I set it over a 1/2 inch, which I think is what, yeah. So the bar is about a 1/2 inch off of this. So if I put it on that side and I'm going to cut towards this way, the bar should be cutting down approximately on that line. So I split it in half with this saw before I rebuilt it. So this will be my first cut on this since I rebuilt this chainsaw here. So I'll cut that side off, move this over, do the same thing on the other side, same thing on the other side, and then I'll stand them up and rip that long side. And then as far as cutting it down the middle, I could use this, but I'm probably just going to put them all on a bandsaw or just not. I'm probably just going to leave these the way they are as blocks out here to use to prop up wood as I cut. So this will be interesting. Okay, I'm kind of taking it easy on this chainsaw since I did just rebuilt it. This is the first actual cut I'm doing on it. So if you see all the smoke, it's because it is running real rich. I added a lot of extra oil to it. So that's why I didn't go too hard on it. It's an alright cut, I guess. One thing I realize now is making sure you have enough overhang back here to support it as you get back. I was real worried about having to come off this when I wasn't paying attention, and then having that be a problem. So now when I move this over to the other side, I'm going to keep that in mind. So that is second cut. I've got two sides now that are very wet and almost square. One of the factors that obviously is going to be, or one of the things that's actually going to be a factor, is the surface you're on, how flat this is. If it's off, it's going to throw everything else off as well. So this could very well be a parallelogram or a trapezoid by the time I'm done with it. One of the things I want to do, which I haven't done yet, is make, which this side here, I don't know if you can see that or not. Yeah, you can. Okay, so this side obviously is tapered, it's not 90 degrees, so this would be an issue with my idea. But what I want to do is a bracket that I can then square it up, and so like a 45-degree angle within a vertical 2x4 or piece of plywood. And then I can use that to square it, because it'll be held on by that 2x4 or 4x4 plywood, whatever I use there, and I won't be dependent upon this, because this I'm lucky because I'm using a flat side. But if I was cutting on a rounded surface like this, get it up there, if I was cutting it, if I had it bolted down there, there's no way to make sure that this is square, and it would just follow the flow of the bark. So as this progresses, my use of this develops, I'm going to make those brackets so that I can mount this on what I believe to be square, regardless of the curvature of the wood, so I can still produce that one square cut. And then after that, I can screw onto that with no problem, just like using the Alaska mill. So let me flip this around. We'll cut that last side and we'll see how it turns out. Okay, let's get this camera over here. You can see what I'm talking about. I'm sorry, it's gonna be crooked. You see, I think you see in there, that's the line I drew. That was square to the face, but this beam caused it to flare out. So what started as a cut on the line there is now almost, let's say, 9/16 off down here. So I'm curious to see how this last one is going to cut. My intent is for the chainsaw to cut on that line, but we'll see if it flares out or in. But judging by the look of this, it's going to flare out. And that could also be twisted in the board as well. Wobbly. I don't like that. This ash out of the way. Okay, last cut. Okay, so as you can see, it does not want to start again. So I'm going to look into it. It's like trying to start and then it sputters out. And then when I removed the gas cap, there was a lot of pressure, whether it was vacuum or pressure from the heat. I don't know. So I'm going to look into it. But one of the other things I noticed is this log is just too big for that bar anyway. The 16-inch bar is not going to make it through. So I brought the big brother out here with the 28-inch bar. So I'm going to swap it over and I'll continue the cut with that. Well, that's it. It's that piece off there. Get this crap out of the way. Cut almost all the way through there. So, but that's what these will be for in the future, is not these little 4x4s. I'm gonna start cutting on these giant pieces of cottonwood because they're replaceable. I got access to tons of those. So anyway, enough of that. Let's get the saw off of here. Let's get the 2x4 off of here and see what we got. So that was there from the original time I split it, because I split it with the 211 and the 028. It's definitely wet. I mean, what do I say about this? Is it square? I don't know. It's definitely doesn't look like it. Well, let's measure it. I got a small square here. So much sawdust. Okay, we are at 6.5, 6 3/4, 6 1/4. 11. I was going for 10, wasn't I? 6 by 10. How did that happen? So I'm at 12 inches here, 12 inches there. I'll cut the other one another day. I don't want neighbors trying to have a barbecue right now. I don't want to bother them. That's the problem with living in the middle of the suburbs. Well, I mean, for 20 bucks, I guess that's what I get. You know, cottonwood's a shaggy wood, apparently. Looks neat. Too bad it's just not the best wood to work with. But the whole idea is to have these as sacrificial blocks that I can cut into, just like what had just happened with these 4x4s, and not have to worry about it. So I think for $20, the what I call it, timber tough jig, I mean, it's $20. I got a Granberg Alaska mill that cost several $100s more than that on the way. That'll be a whole other project. We'll see how that does when it gets here. But as for the wood boss, I gotta look into it. Maybe it needs a new coil. So thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. See you later.